Our focus today is on leadership. It's South Africa facing a crisis of leadership in various sectors of society. We've seen how municipalities have collapsed, impacting service delivery, and how leaders have been accused of stealing money meant to improve the lives of people. Let's bring in Wayne Duvenage, the CEO of the organization Undoing Tax Abuse. That's Outa. Mr. Duvenage, thank you very much for your time. Of course, Outa is one of those organizations that have been seeking accountability from government for a couple of years now. Are we getting anywhere to accountability being something that South Africans can see with their own eyes?
No, we're not. In fact, we're getting worse. It's quite sad that it's so clear and plain to see what is going wrong, and yet we continuously see a lack of accountability. People are squandering funds. We see the Auditor General's reports spelling out very clear maladministration, misuse of public funds, and very few people are held accountable. Very few people are removed from their positions with glaring failures. So it really is sad in this day and age to be sitting here and saying we're going backwards in the accountability front when all hope was raised when Cyril Ramaphosa came into power on the back of an anti-corruption and anti-waste ticket, that we sit here today seeing matters getting worse. So we seriously have a big problem here.
And of course, this is not only a problem with government, right? There's an enabler and the one who is enabled to actually perform the corruption that we've seen in our country. So even business, should also be questioned. The private sector, sometimes they don't even want to play their role in terms of ensuring that the socioeconomic standings of South Africans are better.
Exactly. The corruption, there's two sides to the corruption coin. The one who has the checkbook and pays, and the one who does all the facilitation and provides the services at extremely increased prices so often. But I think we've got to always come back to, well, who owns the checkbook? That's the public funds. And if there was good leadership in that space, excellent leadership, you would not, you wouldn't have corruption on the other side in the business sector doing business with government, because you would have clear, strong policies, values, strategies to take out any of the facilitation fees and those corrupt processes that take place. So I'm not exonerating business. They are a problem as well. But the business shareholders look after corruption in the business sector. And we see a few problems like Tongaat and Steinhoff and others. And those shareholders and the police and the oversight authorities need to sort out private sector corruption. But when it comes to public sector funds that enables the growth and the potential of a country to flourish, we have to look at what's happening with the management of private sector funds. And that's where our demise takes place.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Mr. Duvenage, when you're sitting at home or in your office and you think about the leaders that we have currently in South Africa, the entire leadership across all political parties, across businesses, across civil society organizations, and even unions, labor unions, do you see the right caliber of leaders that can take the country to the right direction? Are there any?
Yeah, look, we're not leaderless. We have such potential. The problem is that if you can't execute on this, I think it was Pete Naudé, the director of the University of Stellenbosch, who was saying that the basic dimensions of leadership is vision, values, and execution. And if leaders aren't going to put that vision of what this country can be and the strategy behind it, ensure that we have strong values that are going to drive this country forward, and then execute. We see so often execution of good plans just doesn't take place. And it starts at the top. If you have excellent leadership in government from the president onwards, the cabinet at the next level, driving the vision of the country, everything starts to cascade from there. So we have very poor leadership in government, in the cabinet and the executive powers of government, extremely weak. And it's exacerbated by cadre deployment, by lack of accountability, and so many other factors. And if you had the right people with the right vision and strategies, I can assure you we'd be dealing with all the crises we have. It's not just an electricity crisis, as so many people just talk about. We have an education crisis. We have a health crisis, a policing crisis, water crisis. It goes on. And we're not going to fix that until the top drives the expected execution of the plans for this country. And that's not happening. So it starts with Cyril Ramaphosa himself.
No wonder South Africans are getting exhausted. There's also a revolving door when it comes to leadership, people coming back into certain positions, and still nothing has changed. Thank you so much for speaking to us. That's Outa CEO Wayne Duvenage.